forecast for today and upcoming days. Real quickly, we have the mid-level flow pattern here. Overall, it shows the overall flow at the mid-levels, which is a good indication of how our weather's going to be. There's a trough up here in the upper Midwest. Going through the flow here will lift out over time, and over the southeast, you see we have some flow coming off the Gulf in the short term. High pressure over the kind of building over here in the middle of the country, which is driving our heat risk in the coming days. Trough up along the Canadian border here, skirting the upper Midwest, northern high plains. High pressure building in for the middle part of the country, which will likely bring back our heat in the 72 hours. High pressure is kind of shunted back off to the west some, and you can see Aaron down here, the trough along the eastern seaboard. This northwest flow aloft and the high pressure building in the west again will likely mean hot temps again for the this is southwest into the Midwest and upper northern high plains. If we look at the height anomalies, which shows above normal heights, meaning the deeper oranges means it's higher than normal pressure, and the deeper blues being lower than normal. So when we normally see this higher pressure here leads to hotter temperatures normally. So over in time, the main driver is up in Canada, but all over the western part of the U.S. And it's forecast to flatten out over time, become more zonal, but still maintain that high pressure over the desert southwest, and the flattens out over time. So what does that mean as far as temperatures go? Well, first we'll look at the heat risk map that the National Weather Service puts out every day for today. Hot in the desert southwest, warming up again along the east of the Mississippi. This heat risk in the deeper oranges and reds depicts the greater heat risk for people, and you can look at the chart over here. It'll tell you what that means. Further, it moves into the Midwest here. The greatest risk in the upper Midwest, Nebraska, Kansas, into Georgia, Florida. Moving further east up into the Ohio Valley on the Mississippi River. Greatest risk on Sunday is right along the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes. Stays about the same during that on Monday, and is shunted southward again as that trough builds along the eastern seaboard here, and high pressure builds back along the west here. So as far as the excessive rainfall goes, with associated frontal boundaries and things like that, we can look at the overall outlook for extensive rainfall. Sorry about that. So for today until 12Z, this is excessive rainfall outlook. You can see the different outlooks for tropical systems here on the map, and I'll go over the current hazards here in a minute. We have slight risk along the Gulf Coast along the Appalachians, surrounded by marginal risk, and this is till 12Z, so about 8 a.m. Day 2, Still along the Appalachians. That'll be for today till tomorrow. And with a hole here along the southeast coast, marginal risk all the way up to the northeast, likely a stationary boundary here. Marginal risk up here in the upper Midwest and desert Southwest. Marginal risk moves a little further south, in the southeast and deep south. Still again in the desert Southwest, in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes area, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. Slight risk about the same areas again for excessive rainfall. Day 4, day 5, it moves back into Florida. Excuse me. Upper Midwest and New Mexico. As far as severe weather goes, today we're expected to have slight to marginal risk in the upper Midwest, Nebraska, South Dakota, Wyoming, and along the eastern seaboard here. Mostly driven by we have a 2% tornado risk, South Dakota, Nebraska. 15% chance of winds exceeding 50 knots within 25 miles of the point, with a 5% risk surrounding it into South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming, and wind risk along the eastern seaboard here. Hail. Surprisingly enough, not much of a hail risk today. 5% risk in Nebraska, South Dakota. For tomorrow, already highlighting a hatched risk up here in upper Midwest, North Dakota, Minnesota, surrounded by a slight risk. There's a 10% chance of significant hail within 25 miles of a point, and a marginal risk surrounding it. 5% hail risk. As far as categorical, we see 15% here and 5% marginal risk here. Wind, same areas, 50% chance of wind exceeding 50 knots, with 5% down to Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota. As far as day 3, categorical, only highlighting the marginal risk here into the parts of Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota, Nebraska, and southeast North Dakota. So, as far as rainfall goes, most rainfall is expected along the eastern seaboard and the southeast today. Oh, sorry. Right, today on the southeast and along the middle part of the country where there's a stationary boundary today, and that low pressure, associated low pressure up here in the upper Midwest. It'll move further southward over time, still with a pretty good chance of excessive rainfall, although not a huge flood risk moving eastward over time. You can see where it ends up at day 3. If we go to the multi-day outlook, day 1 through 2, it's just like a cumulative accumulation. So move through time, see what it shows. The biggest totals along the Gulf Coast, Southeast Coast, upper Midwest into the deep South. You can see where the darkest colors are here along the Appalachians, especially, are probably get the most rain, and then the upper Midwest. And day 1 through 7, you can see where the biggest risk is in upper Midwest again. We talked about that in the excessive rainfall outlook. Day 5, marginal risk. So you can see where that all ends up. As far as the current radar goes, not a heck of a lot going on really. Right now, we do have a flood watch in the up in the Appalachians, North Carolina, and Tennessee. some storms along the Gulf Coast here. Of course, in that area along the Appalachians and into the Ohio, Pennsylvania, along the Canadian border here. Some air quality alerts in these different areas, stagnant air. Some heat advisories up in the Northeast, interestingly enough, way up in the Northeast, and in the desert Southwest in Nevada, heat advisories, extreme heat warnings. But really, for the continental U.S. today, there's not a lot of activity right now. For our local area today, let's take a look at the local forecast and the frontal boundaries and what's driving our weather today. You can see we have a trough right over middle Georgia here, and that frontal boundary we talked about. Another frontal boundary up to the north, occluded low up here in Canada. Bunch of troughs all over the country where can enhance rainfall today. And the local forecast for the next 7 days. Today, mostly sunny, chance of shower and thunderstorms, high of 91. Shower and thunderstorms likely this afternoon into tonight, low of 73. Tomorrow, high of 89, winds from the southwest, a 30% chance of shower and thunderstorms. Tomorrow, sunny and slight chance of shower and thunderstorms. You see the temperatures are going up, the chance of storms is getting less over time. Highs in the 90s for the rest of the week, with slight chance of shower and thunderstorms each day. You see the winds go back to the northeast, um, interestingly enough, which might keep our temperatures down a little bit. Overall, temperatures are going to remain quite warm, probably close to average, though, for this time of year. That's it for today for the local forecast. I know it was kind of quick, but I'm putting out 2 videos today, and anybody has any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me, and have a great day.